Hi, thanks for stopping by to watch me, Leah, cook kosher. Today we're going to play with some chicken, and in order to do that, I'm going to need to show you how to cut one up. So let's get started. My preference is to buy ribashkin just because I know everyone in the community will eat ribashkin because of the high level of kashrut. So I always like to buy the ribashkin chicken, and I also like to buy the bigger ones. That's why I'm looking for 3.5 to upwards of 4.5 pounds for a chicken, because then the servings are really nice and meaty. And so that's what I prefer to work with. And that's what I'm going to show you how to cut today. I always work with gloves. Well, commercially, I always work with gloves. And as my daughter says, Mom, you even cook with gloves on at home. So especially when I'm handling raw chicken, I like to wear gloves. It's up to you. So we're going to start by, of course, opening up our package. Now when I get chicken in at work, I get big cases, about 16 chickens in a box. And that's a lot of cutting, but I prefer to do it myself rather than buy chicken that's already tray cut. This way here, I get the size of bird I want to use, and I can cut the pieces how I want. Okay, so here's this poor guy. It gave up its life for us, right? So we're going to treat it with respect, all right? I always start by turning the bird kind of over and just cutting the wing off. Luckily there's two. I can show you that again. Just put the knife behind, right into that joint, and cut it. All right, I'm going to flip this guy back over, and I kind of just do a slice right next to the breastbone, just like that. Then I'm going to come back and give it a good crunch. Okay. Poor bird is now opened up. Flip it over. Same thing, I'm going to go sort of along that backbone and just push down, crack it right in half. Now, I'm going to take my knife and I am going to put the knife right into where the thigh and the breast are. And that leaves me my leg quarter. And then I just slip my knife right into that joint and cut. So now I have leg, thigh with a little bit of tail, part that jumped over the fence last, as my father always said. That in our little bowl there. I also like to take the rest of that rib section off from the back, and I'm going to just break it right there. Take all that extra skin off, throw it in, and then I just trim up the bottom of the breast. So now I have one beautiful breast piece going in there, because we are going to rinse our chicken. I'm going to go ahead and split my wing and another one. Okay, so I have one more half of the bird. Basically do the same thing. Put the knife right into where that skin is. It'll release the breast. Cut right through. Turn. So you can imagine when I'm doing literally, hundreds of birds, it goes quickly just by swinging everything around. Now I have the neck section attached to those upper ribs or back. Cut that off and trim a little bit of that fat. Okay, so there you have it. Another beautiful breast section right into our little colander. I have one more bird, so let's do that again. I'll tell you, once during Passover, we had 2,000 meals. And right a week before production, I broke my hand, and I had all this chicken to cut. So when it came time to do all the butchering, which I do, I had to hire someone to just simply hold the bird while I held the knife. And let me tell you, the rule was, I move the knife, you don't move. You move, I don't move. And we managed to cut, what, 600 chickens? So this is easy. You can do this at home. We are going to start with getting the wing off. And if your knife is nice and sharp and you go right between those joints, it's very easy to cut. Gonna flip that guy over, go right along the breastbone, and then crunch down on it. Okay, flip. Crunch through the backbone. Draw your knife around through that section of skin. Separate the thigh from the breast. Cut the leg from the thigh. Trim off the tail and any section of fat. Throw that in there. While I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and cut my wings. And like I said, I like to get rid of that little bit of upper back section. Little extra fat we don't need there, or skin. Grab this right through the middle. And okay, so that was very easy to do. Now I'm sure what some of you are wondering about, well, what about cleaning the chicken? What I love about the Rubashkin chicken is, you know, it is really pretty clean. So all I have to do now is take my colander of chicken over to my meat sink, and then I'm going to give each piece a really good rinse. And then I just sort of take the water off of it, put it in my bowl, and then we'll be ready to do something really creative with it. Okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just going to use a little bit of cold water and give it all a nice good rinse. And then I just like to kind of squeeze it off, just like that. Okay? Put it in my bowl. Now this is raw chicken, so after you've rinsed off your chicken, you need to go back in and really wipe down your sink. If you have a bleach cloth, you know, use that. I don't worry too much about the little pin feathers, because once the chicken's cooked, those things are gone. You start cooking for a large crowd for Shabbat or for the holidays, it's pretty crazy to sit there and be too worried about every little last pin feather. It's hard to get them out with the cold, and it's hard to get them out with cold water. Now, I save all my chicken scraps. I don't believe in wasting any of it. So I have a plastic bag right here, and I am going to rinse those scraps off, and those are going to be my chicken soup. And I just keep building them up in the freezer. And when I have about 4 pounds, I know I have enough to make a nice stock with. So I'm just going to go ahead and just sort of squeeze that water out and add it to my plastic bag. And we will do a video making chicken soup. All right, so here's our nice, plump, juicy chicken, all cut, trimmed, rinsed, and ready to turn into a fabulous meal.